Welcome to the third episode of the Joe Zone podcast, and today I'm sitting with Gino Mzansi Solomon. Today we're going to be chatting about himself as an entrepreneur, Afrika Ablaze a little bit. Gino Mzansi Solomon is the owner of Mzansi Blue Digital Marketing. He's the PR and marketing director of Afrika Ablaze, and he's also a trail running enthusiast. The Afrika Ablaze are going to be having a production. The production is going to be running at the Baxter Theatre from the 1st to the 5th of May, 2018, this year. And it's going to be like, well, you can get your tickets at web tickets or on afrikaablaze.com. afrikaablaze.co.za. Afrika Ablaze spelled with a K. Am I right, Gino?
That's right.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about, before we're gonna chat about yourself, tell me first, we're gonna chat a little bit about Afrika Ablaze, since they are having a production on the 1st, running from the 1st to the 5th of May. Tell me a little bit the history about Afrika Ablaze. Where did it start? How did it start? What's that all about?
I think before we start talking about the show, Ryan, I think we need to make the listeners aware that we went to primary school together.
Okay, are you gonna tell the history?
We actually know each other since standard 4. What is that? That's grade. Standard 4. That shows how old we are. That's standard 6. Sorry. That's standard. Standard 4 is grade 6. Sorry. So, anyways, just to chat about Afrika Ablaze. It started with my mom. We began the company when she was still living in, when we were living in Plumstead. She took a few dances. It was beginning in her backyard, and then from there we registered the company. I think it was 98 or 99, which was then called Afrika Ablaze.
Okay.
The company started literally, as I said, from a backyard of our home in Plumstead. My grandfather used to be the costume designer and the costume maker. In fact, my grandfather actually was one of the chairpersons of Eon Dance Company in Athlone, like many years ago.
We're gonna chat about that later. Actually. I got the story about that.
And then,
that's how it all started.
And that's how it all started, yeah.
So your mom actually started with the Eon group?
No. My mom was never a dancer at the Eon group. She was never a dancer there. In fact, she doesn't have any qualifications, no official dance. She never learned dance anywhere. She literally taught herself.
So what did she do at the Eon group?
Nothing. My mom did absolutely nothing at the Eon group. I'm saying that my grandfather was...
But she didn't get involved in it?
No way. She was never at the
Eon group. She was just watching?
She was just watching from the side, yeah. And then she... Okay. In fact, one of her sisters she actually got sent to do ballet.
Okay.
In Elsie's River, the area that they grew up in.
Okay.
And my mom used to actually walk past and look through the window and see them dancing. And she would then be dancing on the pavement from outside looking in by the window.
Let's hear this.
And today she today she owns a dance company, and all her sisters that attended dance classes, they are all now working in corporate.
Okay.
So so back to the dance company. So it's a family-owned business now. Mm-hmm. Ricky, who's the oldest one, he's one of the directors of the company. So he'll speak about the lighting, the music, how different scenes work. My sister Danielle, she is my mom's second in command in terms of the dancing. Mm-hmm. My sister Cindy helps out with the costumes as well, and Cindy will help out with the concepts of the dance productions. And then there's me that will take care of the PR and the marketing and the business side of Afrika Ablaze. So it's a family-owned business. It started out just as a normal dance company that would rehearse. I'm sure you would remember. Yeah. We'd have some of our productions at Norman Enschelwood.
Yeah. I remember the starting. I thought it started earlier than 1998 though. I thought it started like...
That is when the name was registered.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Afrika Ablaze.
Yeah, but you guys actually started before that. You started in 96, 97 or something like that. You had classes at Normies.
Normies, yes. So we had classes at Normies, we had classes at Plumstead. In fact, you won't believe this, but one of the first venues we used to use was the Scouts Hall in Wynberg, Innes Road, Or is it Sussex Road?
I remember that I know the whole.
You know the one I'm talking about? Yeah, we actually used to use that venue for rehearsals.
Is it? Does that all still exist? Is it still there?
I've got no idea.
Wonderful.
I haven't been around that side.
The days of
while.
Weinberg, we
Yeah,
used to scuttle there in the Weinberg when we used to be on St. Augustine's. But anyway, so I think it's so important that, you know what, sometimes people might see Afrika Ablaze. I don't know, I'm not one of these people because I've known Afrika Ablaze for a long time. But I think people might see Afrika Ablaze and they see, they've not been to one of your shows, and then they think like, they just putting together dances and stuff like that. But if you really look into it, like you were saying now, Cindy has a role, your brother Ricky has a role, you have a role. It's a real production that you guys are putting together. It's a real big thing. It's not like a few choreographed moves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a story behind it. There's lighting and everything is thought about and
in fact,
and I think people might miss some people might miss the value of that.
In fact, if I can just add the spot, Afrika Ablaze was one of the first local coloured dance companies to stage productions at the CTICC. And the reason why we did that was because we felt that why should dance companies like ourselves only throw productions in a high school hall, like a community centre? Yeah. The people who are coming to watch our shows, the first time that they've ever been to a venue like the CTICC was because of our productions. Yeah. That's just to give you a little bit of a history of
that's the enormity of you guys, like and yeah, people should recognize that and buy tickets for the show, and because it's really a good show.
And if I can just chat a little bit about the company, a little bit more about this point, is that our shows leave people with a message. A lot of people, the show that we are famous for is a show called Raw Silk. Yeah. That is about the street kids of Cape Town. Yeah. And our shows are not just about dancing where we throw a couple of dances together. Our shows in general are always about leaving a message. And our shows now, we're at the point where our shows don't even sell less than about 5,000 to 6,000 tickets. And if you know anything about the dance world in general, you'll know that 5,000 to 6,000 tickets is actually quite a lot in the dance industry. I mean, of course, we have these international acts coming down, and they also selling well. But for a local dance company, that's the amount of tickets that we're currently selling. So,
that's awesome.
And with regards to our current show, When Cranes Cry, this is about the war-torn of how war-torn our world is, or where our world could be heading as well. I mean, if you take a look at Trump, where he's going, the type of messages that he puts out there, Kim Jong-un, if that's how you pronounce his name, and we're just speaking to the people about that. If we continue in the direction we're going, that that the only place we're going to end up is nowhere.
Yeah, I think that's a very good and valid point. Like, it's very important that art reflects and brings light to certain things that's happening, like positive or negative things that's happening in the world. And it's really art's like art should do that. You know what I mean? It should make you think like, yay, what's going on? You should leave there. You leave in there with a message. Like I think about comedy, like. When some of these comedians, they come up with gags and stuff like that. Yeah. To me, there's more value in if you're coming up with a gag, if there's a message behind it, like.
Correct.
And also, if it's better if it's how awesome it is if you're coming up with this production and you're leaving it a message, like. So it's very important that art does that. Whose idea was who's instrumental in coming up with these? Messages behind who's coming up with the story? Your mother?
Okay, that will only be Glenda Jones, which is my mother. She comes up with all the messages of the show. She comes up with the content, the producing. She comes up with the entire concept of the show. Then what happens is the process works with the family and the shows is she then comes up with a concept. She then calls what we call a family meeting. Or if I can just touch on this, just to let you guys know a little bit. So